Oh, what's that? Do you feel that? I feel a disturbance in the force. It's almost as if a million Reddit soy jacks just turned pink. Like the pink fields are growing. So, one thing I gotta clarify. The new shovel, that's what this is a stand-in for the new shovel. The new shovel is absurd and fixed all the problems that the old shovel had. The old shovel is, in my opinion, one of the worst veteran weapons overall. But we should talk about this top down, honestly. Okay, first, let me just elaborate on the shovel because I know people love it. The old shovel has one really good thing. The heavy attack lets you control the crowd. The knife, Devil's Claw sword, will let you just kill the crowd in less hits than it takes this to control them entirely. And the new shovel is just the old shovel, but better in every way because it fixes the main problem of its complete lack of single target damage. Okay, now let me talk top down instead of bottom up because the top weapons are more interesting here. Tops are always more interesting. So, the knife. The knife is absolutely the best. Where the fuck is my knife? Okay, there it is. There it is. So, first things first, people use the knife wrong all the time. You have to use it like this. Stab, stab, dodge. Stab, stab, dodge. Stab, stab, dodge. Stab, stab, dodge. Now, when you're in content, you will pretty much always, when you're using this, be using reciprocity, because reciprocity is like the best node in the game, one of them at least. So you will always be doing something like this, where this is 25% crit chance. You're also either going to be running a setup like this with Riposte and Flesh Terror, which is the best setup, by the way, don't even fucking at me, or you're going to be running like the Uncanny setup where you're just going to try to kill Crushers in like 1 or 2 hits. I will say I don't like that setup I'll explain why, but see, look, 1 crit to the body, if this were Lacerate 8, 1 crit to the body kills these guys without like any other investment. With Reciprocity active, you're critting constantly. So you just do 2 hits, dodge. That constantly keeps Finesse up. Finesse and Reciprocity give you 45% more crit chance on a weapon that already has really high base crit chance. So, let me get rid of this guy to bring the health bars back real quick for you. So it only takes, even without the armor setup to deal with armor, it takes like 3-ish crits to kill a Crusher with headshots. Which, again, Reciprocity, Finesse, you're dealing with over 60% crit chance. So in a real mission, the knife is so much better than it is in here. So yeah, it's like 3-4 hits with the bleed, plus the rending from Onslaught, making the bleed do significantly more damage. Yeah, the knife is something that is more than the sum of its parts. It also has the best ability to fight bosses. It has the best mobility, which is survivability. It also gives you the fastest sprint, which allows you to pick up things like resources. People hate the knife because of douchebag zealots who just play the whole game like this. Oh, gotta go, fuck all that, gotta go. Let me aggro like 15 things. That is like the exact opposite reason why you use the knife. The knife actually allows you to be more supportive for your team because you can pick more things up. That you're like a scavenger rat, effectively. You know, it's like, let's say there's plasteel off the way, but the main way is right there. Okay, well, since you're so fast with the knife, you can afford to run out, grab it, and then run back in. You can also afford to quickly run over to gunners and make them stop shooting. The knife is a weapon that lets you get out of any situation, and it's good enough to handle every situation. Okay, now let me talk about the Devil's Claw sword, because this is probably the most underrated weapon in the game. I'm going to straight up say it. This weapon is just as good, if not better, than the Power Sword on everything that isn't single target damage. So first off, you need to know this. You do the first light hit. You just kill the light hit. Then you do heavy, light, heavy, light. Perfectly vertical hits. And tell me that this is not really good. Especially when you consider that you're going to be using Reciprocity for another 25% crit chance on top of Shred. And, just look at this. Like, this is really strong. Okay, the shovel. Yeah, I guess I'll talk about the new shovel real quick. We're going to start speeding up much faster now. So, shovel's always got pretty okay horde clear like this. But the best part about the shovel is its management, because it has a shit ton of stamina. But you really need to combine it with stamina curios for it to be super valuable. Or else you're just going to have really low generation. It's got like A+ tier horde clear, which is the shovel's always been good at. The problem is the old shovel. Hold on, let me just get the old shovel real fast. This one, the old shovel, its special attack was this, which it was great because it could stagger like anything. So it was okay at, you know, hitting something to get you out of a bad situation. Really good because you could do it to mutants and stop them if you hit the weak spot. But here's the problem. What do you do about armor? Nothing. Nothing. This weapon effectively cannot deal with armor. It can stagger it, but it can't deal with it. Sure, you can always pull out your ranged weapon and deal with it that way, but the best weapons don't have gigantic, glaring fucking flaws like that. So if we grab the new shovel real fast, you can just do this. And honestly, if you crit, which again, reciprocity, if you crit, you just do something like this, and you can just kill this guy realistically with just basic attacks and just a few of them with crits. So this is also good for boss damage, and this is great because why bother staggering the mutant when you can just fucking kill it for the most part? If you really want to kill it, you can also, there's a way to do this. It's really niche tech. I want to make a video talking about it, but you can like do that and you hit the weak point and you'll one-shot the mutant. But in real content, you'll have many more damage buffs and you'll pretty much always be over the threshold. This also, I'm pretty sure doesn't have, yeah, this doesn't have like mutant damage on it. I'm sorry, maniac damage. So the new shovel's great. Great mobility, tons of stamina, like S ability to deal with the horde, great way to deal with armor, great single target and boss damage because of the pickaxe attack. It excels at all categories. Okay, let me bring up that fucking tier list one more time. Yeah, this should show you how much I value tier lists. I don't even memorize my own. Okay, the power swords and the chain weapons. The chain weapons are interesting, but let's talk about the power sword first because I didn't put it into S tier for a reason. The power sword has absolutely cripplingly bad mobility. And yes, by the way, for all the people commenting on that one video, yes, I know about this, okay? I know that's how you use it. The point was the mobility, not the damage. I wasn't even really attacking it for the most part. Anyway, but yes, the new power sword has this, which is a good combo, but like, you know, it's got great, like here's the thing. The power sword is amazing at damage, but that's all it's really amazing at. It's okay at dealing with the horde. The really awkward attack pattern means you kind of just want to light attack. But, like, you know, it's fine, really. There's nothing wrong with it. But the big problem with the power sword is the mobility. So remember how I said the best weapons have no weak spots? This weapon absolutely becomes S tier when you use it with Weapon Specialist. When you use the power sword like this, it is absolutely like Veteran's best weapon. Straight up top of S tier above the knife. However, most people aren't going to use it like this. Also, if you don't have exactly 80 mobility, like if you say dump mobility like this, you're going to have minus 15% dodge distance, which that puts this weapon into straight up unusable territory. The one that I'm creating with the mod has 80 mobility. So if you're going to go this route, you have a little bit more dodge distance to work with. And if you get one ranged kill, you've actually got pretty decent dodge to work with. This is good. Also, let me say another thing. You can fight bosses and you can make this weapon work with the really low bad dodges. However, one problem with that is it actually takes some effort, focus, and a little bit of skill. The other weapons like the Devil's Claw Sword and the knife take 0 effort and skill to dodge literally everything, while also having slightly less horde clear and okay single target because they don't have to stop to recharge every couple hits. So the power sword actually has weaknesses. It has like S++ tier damage, and a lot of Reddit chuds only view weapons for their damage. They don't view everything else. Oh, by the way, one other thing that the Devil's Claw Sword can do that I totally forgot to mention is the parry will let you parry crushers. Yeah, straight up, if you're like back dodging crushers, you can just like parry and like the parry damage on this is fucking ridiculous. If you aren't using the parry, you're completely using this thing wrong. Critical weak spot, 1700 base damage. Before you get into like, you know, your perks and your talents and all that shit, this thing can legitimately crit bosses for like 5-6k at times. It's absurd. Okay, for all you Commissar fans out there, the Chainsword is, in my opinion, one of the best. It's like a top 5 veteran melee option. So the light attacks are just kind of okay. But these heavy attacks, the first heavy attack anyway, has a really good pattern. So this weapon kind of falls into the same league as the Devil's Claw Sword. Let me try to remember the combo on this, though, because the combo's a little... You do the first melee hit, then you heavy, light, block. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. This one is a little bit more involved of a combo. You do this, heavy, light, block, light attack, heavy, light, block, attack, heavy, light. Okay, yeah, this is how the combo goes for the best horde clear. And honestly, it's got really strong horde clear. I'm not gonna lie. The single target damage from the alt fire is pretty good. Now that you can dodge out of it, you're not fully committing to it, so it's pretty free. I don't know if it can one-shot a mutant without, like, a crit or damage buffs. Okay, so it can with a crit, but what about no crit? Oh, no, that's nice. Hold on, is it able to do this? Ah, that's tragic, that's right, this is tragic. Yeah, if you don't have Maniac damage, but honestly, you can fix that with just about any buff. So that's, like, with the veteran tree and shit, you're still not exactly able to do this, which kind of sucks, but you're probably using Maniac damage anyway on this, because of Ragers and these guys. So it's not like that's the worst thing, but that's an example of a tragic breakpoint. Oh, also, its ability to deal with armor isn't super stellar, but it's not non-existent either. Like, that's not good, especially compared to the shovel, but it's okay. Also, if, again, reciprocity plus something like shred, yeah, if you crit, you kill it in 2 hits. Then it becomes great. So, if you're going to use Shred on this, and you're going to use Reciprocity, it's really fucking good. Especially if you brittle these guys up first. Let me just apply a little bit of brittleness from Onslaught. So, Onslaught, plus the crits, and yeah, you're taking, like, 3/4 of their health off in one go. Very strong. Also, its mobility is okay. Better than the Power Sword. Not great. Not terrible. If you combo it with Weapon Specialist, it's actually got really good mobility. It's genuinely on par with Tactical Axe. And its ability to push block is pretty unparalleled because it has like 5 extra stamina bricks instead of 4. The next weapon I want to talk about... The new Chain Axe is great. Basically, everything I said about the Power Sword, it just does more damage for the trade of a little bit of mobility. The old Chain Axe was kind of like at the bottom of B tier, maybe top of C tier. Just wasn't very good. So let's talk about the tactical axes next, because they're all basically the same thing. Some people are going to disagree with that, but I don't care. Go back to Reddit. So, these things have a big problem with horde clear. This one in particular, I was considering making this one the lowest on the tier, which honestly I might, because this one's really bad. The Atrox Mark whatever the fuck, Mark 4. This one kind of really just sucks, honestly. This attack pattern is not great for dealing with the horde. The overhead attacks are nice. But yeah, you know what? We're moving this one specifically down. I knew there was a reason that I had this, because this one specifically fucking sucks. This one might actually just be worse than the shovel. But let me grab the other ones real quick. Like, this is the one that everyone really uses, myself included, when I'm going to use these. And this one is noticeably better. I don't think I even have blessings on this, do I? So I like to use Brutal Momentum and, like, Head Taker. Shred is also pretty good. But I like Brutal Momentum for this. Just to be able to have some better horde clear like this. Because one thing that these tactical axes really struggle with is horde clear. But with Brutal Momentum, it gives it a little bit better horde clear on top of weak spot damage, which you want anyway because you want to be hitting weak spots. These weapons, when you're critting, which again, reciprocity, especially if you drop Head Taker for Shred, you can actually effectively fight Maniacs really well. The extra side ability is good for stunning. So let's say you're getting attacked by 3 Maniacs. You pop one, dodge, get a crit weak spot hit, nearly instantly kill another one, stun another one. Like, this weapon's okay. It's really good at fighting bosses because of this, how mobile it is, and it has really good light damage. Really, the biggest problem with this axe is the knife is trying to do everything it's trying to do, but its attack pattern is just objectively better. If you disagree, you're just fucking wrong. It trades off some upfront damage, but it benefits from bleed. Bleed out DPS's mashing M1 most of the time, because the knife does like 20-30% less damage per hit, but bleed is ticking for like almost the same damage that this is hitting for. So you're doing like you're doing like almost 70% more damage with the bleed on the knife. On top of the knife having left-right cleaving attack patterns, which gives it great horde clear, and its heavy attack stab giving it just as good a single target ability as this, while also being even more mobile. It's really hard to justify using this over the knife. However, that being said, and something I probably should have clarified at the start, everything is so fucking overpowered in this game that even the worst weapons are solo Auric Maelstrom viable. The next thing on the tier list, is the Rashad axe. Yeah, this is another one that I wanted to talk about on its own. The Rashad is pretty great. It's hard for me not to call it the Rashad because of Street Fighter, but it's like Rashad or whatever. This is so fucking strong, especially when it comes to fighting bosses. Being able to just, like, weak spot, go back is just so goddamn good. This is another weapon that I kind of like Brutal Momentum on, but I'm kind of not the biggest fan of it. But that attack right there with Brutal Momentum, that will genuinely kill, like, 20 guys in the Horde. It's ridiculous. But if you don't, like, if you feel like its Horde clear is fine as is, you can drop it for, like, Shred. And then, when you start getting into the habit of doing this, you have an amazing weapon. Like, real quick, let me just put Shred on instead of Brutal. Thrust is another okay thing. Like, you could drop Shred for Thrust, and you could do something like this. And with Reciprocity, you're going to be critting constantly. So, like, if we're in a real game, and we've got Reciprocity going, this is probably just killing him in, like, 2 hits most of the time. So it's got great ability to deal with armor. It's got great single target output for just about everything. And it's got okay to really good horde clear if you use Brutal Momentum. But you see how, like, without Brutal Momentum, it's just a little on the weaker end when it comes to that? So it's really going to be down to what you value more. Oh, also, if you're wondering, this is the Dodging with Weapon Specialist. It's the same as a Tactical Axe. Now, the other combat axes are just downgrades to the Rashad. Like, they just straight up are. I don't think I have a loadout with them. Yeah, because I wasn't really going to show this, but we'll just show, like, this one. Fuck it, we'll just put some, like, basic stuff on. This axe has a good M1 pattern, just like the Rashad does. But, you know, like, it's just slower. That's really the problem. It's just the Rashad, but slower, and as you see, it doesn't, like, hit as hard. I mean, like, look at this. This is not very impressive, no? I'm pretty sure this one is, like, good against armor, isn't it, though? Where are you? Come here. Okay, never mind. No, this one is just a downgrade to the Rashad. And, is there anything I'm forgetting? Nope, doesn't look like it. Yeah, this will be my final, vet tier list. If you disagree, go fuck yourself.